Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Charles, and welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamerspro Show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, when we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. And today we have an interesting episode for you guys. You definitely want to stick around for us, so make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel. Now, yesterday, I was watching a segment on FS1, Fox Sports 1 radio, Fox Sports Radio, on their YouTube channel, right? I was watching this this segment, and it had Chris Broussard on this show, and he had another gentleman that was filling in for Rob Parker. I believe his name is VJ Husky, right? VJ Husky. That's the gentleman that was filling in for Rob Parker because Rob Parker is on break, and y'all know Chris Broussard and Rob Parker make up the odd couple, right? So usually that's the normal cast. So yesterday they were there having a debate, and it started off pretty calm and chill and relaxed, right? Then towards maybe the 25% mark into the debate, VJ really started going at Chris. Now, what was he going at Chris about? He was going at Chris because he was saying that essentially there's this pattern that he's noticing with LeBron, which is this. He's noticed that throughout his career, whenever things go wrong, usually what ends up happening is that LeBron seems to find a way to, escape the, blame. And usually all the blame, or the majority of the blame, always gets put on his teammates in one shape or another. And one of the ways that happens, one of the buzz terms for that is like, he doesn't have enough help. When you say he doesn't have enough help, essentially what they're saying is that his teammates aren't any good. Now, why produce this show? The reason we decided to produce this show was because of the level of fervor that VJ was going at Chris Broussard, and he really challenged him. Like, he really challenged him, and he held his feet to the fire. And I thought it was quite entertaining, but I also thought it was quite surprising that this guy really challenged. And Chris is for sure the big dog on the show because the guy is filling in for Rob Parker. So what we want to do is we're going to play that exchange between the two of them because I thought it was, wildly entertaining, and then we're going to react to it. But before we get into that, this video is brought to you by our sponsor, Aura, who's also the official sponsor of the T-Wolves. Do you know what the fastest growing crime in America is today? It's identity theft. Imagine trying to log into your email only to see that your password has been changed. Then you start getting weird notifications from your bank and credit cards, only to find out that all of your personal and sensitive information has been totally compromised. If you think it can happen to you and your family, just know that in 2020, over 49 million Americans were victims to identity theft, costing them a combined $56 billion. That is why we are excited to partner with Aura, who's the sponsor of this video. Aura is the #1 identity theft and financial fraud protection. Aura monitors the dark web and alerts you if any of your passwords and accounts have been breached. And funny enough, after using Aura, I discovered some of my credentials were floating around in the dark web, and the app showed me exactly when and where the breach happened. In addition, Aura allows you to set spending alerts, and they'll notify you of any suspicious transactions. Aura is 4 times faster than any of its competitors in alerting you if someone is trying to open a credit card or obtain a loan using your name. And remember this, every 14 seconds, someone becomes a victim of identity fraud. Don't let it happen to you. Now click the link in the description and try Aura for free for 2 weeks and see if any of you or your family's personal information has been compromised. Start your free trial at aura.com/dreamerspro. And when you try Aura, by using the link in the description below, also know that you're supporting this channel. Thank you. So what we want to do is play the audio, and then we're going to come back and react to it. So take a listen to that.
Are you using Westbrook as an example?
No, I'm not using Westbrook. I could use
Westbrook wasn't good.
I can use Westbrook. I can also use like other players that have been kind of.
So you thinking Westbrook was unfairly criticized?
Hold on. Let's go back to the Heat. When they got eliminated by the Spurs, Dwayne Wade got talked about like it was his fault. He became the blame game. Dwayne Wade became the blame game. The same thing happened with Kevin Love
last year.
I get that. That doesn't matter. He still was the blame game, Chris. It don't matter what the reason was.
I don't think it was that big of a blame game.
I heard a lot of it. I heard a lot of it, bro.
Well, some people, it's not like people. What were people saying? Dwayne ain't a great player? I mean, what? He was banged up.
I know, but he still played the blame game of it.
It was because he was injured.
Okay. And if
like
one of these
wasn't himself.
Well, we're also saying this about AD too, and I agree with it. Now, I'm not trying to defend AD, but when you are hurt, say that one of these guys does twist an ankle, have a hamstring, have a groin. Oh, he was hurt. Yeah, but you went and got that dude block. It's the nature of the beast when LeBron is involved. This is just the fact. I'm not trying to be a hater. And he's not my guy. And everybody knows he's not my guy. I'm just trying to state a fact that if you go out there and if you come here and you play with him and you do not win, you will be the blame game. They will either ship you off, they'll discontinue or discount you and discredit you. That's just what happens, dog. That's just the truth.
When has that been unfairly done?
Unfairly done, depending upon who. Okay, unfairly depends upon who you're talking to. Unfairly depends.
So give me your answers.
I don't think it's really been ever unfairly done. Okay. I think some things. Hold up. I think so. So that doesn't still take away the fact, Chris, that you still become the blame game.
What it means is people are observing and saying LeBron did his part.
He's the only guy. He's the only guy that gets that pass. That's the problem with it.
Then that makes it unfair.
No,
that's what I'm asking you. When has it been unfairly done?
As far as LeBron's concerned,
in those years in Cleveland when he was leading that group of mediocre players in 2018 to the finals, that year, was that unfair?
What do you mean was that unfair? Well, I'm trying to understand your question.
When he dropped 50, when people if they blamed his supporting cast for Cleveland not beating Golden State in 2018.
The first time?
Whenever.
Okay, I know the first time when they lost in 6.
I'm talking right now about 2018. That in 2018... And if I don't think anybody blamed anybody, they just weren't as good, and everybody could see it.
Are you talking about the years Golden State had Durant?
Any of the years. You want to go back to 2015? Go to 2015.
Any of the years where they have Durant.
Did somebody get blamed for 2015?
Well, yeah. Kyrie
was hurt.
Exactly. And he got blamed.
Nobody was killing.
He still got blamed. Yes, they were.
No,
stop. Yes, they were. Yes, they were, Chris. Yes, they were. People were killing Kyrie.
Dude.
People were killing Kyrie and they were killing Love.
Hurt?
Come on, Chris.
What people you talking about?
Come on, Chris.
No, don't come at me like I'm making something up. Nobody was killing Kyrie Irving for suffering a knee injury.
Yeah, all right. Go back and look. Go back and look, man. There's plenty.
Who of substance? You want to talk about little cats on Twitter?
Hold on. No, not at all. Not Twitter.
Who in the right mind would criticize a player for suffering a knee injury?
Well, are you kidding me? People on radio and TV do it all the time. This is new. This is new to you that people.
You keep throwing out people.
Because I'm not going to put out names. No. I'm not throwing out names.
I don't know.
I'm not throwing out names.
Who you're talking about.
But I'm not. Okay, listen to me though.
If you're talking about Anthony Davis, people criticizing him for getting hurt, that's one thing.
Why is that one thing?
Anthony Davis has knick-knack injuries.
But see, why is that one thing though? It's the same thing. No, I think it's the same thing. It's the same thing.
Nobody was looking at Kyrie with side-eyed. Because he went down in game 1 of the 2015 finals.
I saw plenty of it on.
My goodness, bro. You done started something.
I know. I hope I did.
It wasn't even about LeBron.
I wasn't trying to make it about him.
Your LeBron hate, you did. Because the first thing out of your mouth was no.
For Indiana.
That if
for those 2 kids, I would tell them that.
So you heard the exchange, right? Y'all heard the exchange. It was very entertaining. And the guy was really going at Chris Broussard, and Chris Broussard was going back at him. But you rarely see Chris get challenged like that. Now, here are my thoughts on that exchange. Number one, I think VJ brings up a point that a lot of NBA fans have always made. Right? What he's saying, he's not the first person to say that. He's not the only person that has that sentiment. Now, when Chris Broussard asked him to give him some concrete examples, what I think happened was this. I don't think that argument was planned. I just think that maybe it was something he had in the back of his mind that it just came out, but I don't think he really prepped to have that argument with Chris. Obviously, Chris seems to be prepared to argue almost any NBA point because the guy seems to be an NBA historian and he's covered the league for quite some time. And when he was asking to give him some examples, there were many people he pointed to, but he pointed to Kevin Love. He kept on pointing to Kevin Love. The fact of the matter is this, though, however, for somebody that's watched the NBA, I'm talking about myself now for the last 20 plus years, there are countless teammates, countless examples. All you need is time and a little bit of research and honesty. you can go back to the Miami Heat days. Who's blamed the most in the Miami Heat days? Chris Bosh. Not only was Chris Bosh blamed, his game also suffered. You seldom see a star play with LeBron and their game flourishes. Usually what happens is their game suffers. The only guy that I've seen be able to really have his game really do well was Anthony Davis. That was in that first year when they really joined each other. Since then, his numbers have been going down. But you have Chris Bosh. We all know this. Chris Bosh's name suffered and his reputation suffered. Whenever things were, whenever they needed to blame somebody, it was usually Chris Bosh. That's number one. Number two, Mario Chalmers. If you guys ever followed that Miami, Mario Chalmers was the punching bag on that. Whenever something went wrong, they were always shouting at Mario Chalmers. There's even a video of LeBron getting up like he wants to, get physically aggressive with Mario Chalmers. Mario Chalmers was always the punching bag. Those are the two main guys. Then you go to Cleveland, and of course it was Kevin Love. Now, what was so shocking about Kevin Love was that the same people that celebrated the arrival of Kevin Love, that he was this 25-12 guy or whatever, were the same people calling him trash, which is unbelievable. Kevin Love was treated like a trash bag. Like they just, I mean, he was talked about any kind of reckless way you can think of. Kevin Love, we all know this, right? At one point, I mean, whenever something, it was always Kevin Love's fault. You have Kevin Love. You have Kyrie Irving. Now, Kyrie Irving's reputation suffered the moment he decided he no longer wanted to be partners with LeBron. That's when things really suffered. But then Kyrie Irving also played a part in some of his, the things that have been said about him. You have Kyrie Irving. Then you have Andre Drummond. Andre Drummond, when he came to the Lakers, he was supposed to be the next Kareem. I don't know why Jeannie Buss was taking a photograph with him behind, standing in front of Kareem. So everybody was so hyped by the end of the season. They were like, this guy's, he can't play, blah, 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 blah. We all remember that. Then, of course, you have Dwayne Wade, who I forgot about with Miami. And what they do with Dwayne, first they started blaming Dwayne Wade that he wasn't healthy. But what I've noticed, the way they deal with Dwayne Wade is that they just act like as if he didn't exist. They just act like as if Dwayne Wade is not one of the top 3-4 two guards in the history of basketball. They just act like as if when Dwayne Wade, before LeBron joined Dwayne Wade, he led the league in scoring. They just act like as if Dwayne Wade did not lead that Miami Heat team in the playoffs in 2011 in scoring. They just act like as if Dwayne Wade was in the Finals MVP before LeBron James walked into the Miami Heat arena. That's what they act like. They act like Dwayne Wade was just some dude, some cat. That's what they act like. So they just ignore him. And then finally, we have the latest example, which is Russell Westbrook. Russell Westbrook is the punching bag of the Lakers. Whenever something goes wrong, he is the guy to blame. So, to the point that VJ was making, Chris was saying that, listen, was some of those criticisms justified? I don't think that's the point he was making. The point he was making was this. He's noticed a chronic reoccurrence. This thing is always happening. It's always somebody's fault. And to that point, the guy is 100% correct. And then you got to think about other stars. What other stars in the NBA, we're talking about pantheon greats, that get that their teammates are the ones that are always being blamed? Well, the other stars, I can't think of them. You have Shaq. I can't think of at any point they're always blaming Shaq's teammate. Kobe was always Kobe's fault for every. When they win, it's Kobe's fault. He's a ball hog. When they lose, he can't shoot. He's inefficient. Y'all, they blame Kobe for every single thing under the sun. They blamed Allen Iverson. Obviously, Allen Iverson was blamed. Who else? I mean, there's so many stars that always get the brunt of the win. Kawhi Leonard blew that 3-1 lead. He was dealt with properly. He was dismantled by the media. If LeBron loses, it's everybody else's fault. The team is trash. That's why Shaq and Charles Barkley got into that major spat on TV. When Charles Barkley's like, you want everybody? Because that's what we're talking about. So I just thought that, the way VJ challenged him was quite surprising. But he does have a point. And if you ask a lot of NBA fans out there, they'll tell you like, wait a minute. No, this guy's not just sitting up here saying something. And what I didn't like was what Chris said, which was, he said, they're showing the LeBron hate. Listen, I get sick and tired of that hate term. They throw this word around, not just LeBron, just people in general. They throw this word around too easily. It's a way to avoid explaining your point, or it's a way to dismiss people without having any real argument. When somebody says something, you have no argument towards that, but to the point that just made you say you're hating. And your hating is like a buzz where you just press like a button you press and it eliminates every. Well, he's hating. and as to say, okay, so everything you just said made no sense because, well, he's a hater. I didn't like that. Don't say he's hating. Just refute his points with other points. Just if you disagree with what he's saying, if you're saying he's not making any sense, then come back with some points. Don't just say he's hating, because if you're going to accuse somebody, say you love him way too much. You could be accused of that too, and that's not good either, because it shows an inability to be impartial. So, I just wanted to throw that out there. So these are my thoughts and opinions on this exchange. What we want to know is, what do you guys think about it? Whatever you think, please. And finally, I'll say this one: people say I hate. Come up with points. If you don't have a point to say something back, then take a seat. Like one of my friends told me in high school. He was like, yo, son, have a seat, son. Catch y'all on the next episode. Peace.